Kevin Ryan. He is a former U.S. Army Brigadier General and Senior Fellow at Harvard Belfer Center at Harvard University. General, good to have you on the program with us. I'm wondering, first off, whatever your expectations are for these talks that are going to be taking place in Turkey, do you think a diplomatic outcome is possible at this stage?
So a diplomatic outcome eventually needs to be the way out of this. So any serious effort at a diplomatic outcome now is welcome. Uh, but I am not sure that we will get an end or a ceasefire from those talks, but it will be another stepping stone toward that.
So we're 2 weeks into Russia's attacks on Ukraine. What are your thoughts on Russia's military operation in the country? We have reports of strikes on maternity and children's hospital. Do you think Russia is deliberately targeting civilians and structures like hospitals?
Well, this is a complicated issue. I've worked with the Russian military for over 40 years, either working against them or with them. I've been to their bases. I've been on their training areas, and I've conducted negotiations with them. Um, I don't believe that they are deliberately killing women and children, but that's not the same as saying that they aren't indiscriminately bombing areas, which end up in the death of those civilians. So, in a very real sense, they're guilty of that. But to say that they are consciously and deliberately doing that is an exaggeration.
The U.S. has rejected Poland's proposal to transfer fighter jets to Ukraine via a U.S. airbase in Europe. Explain to us why that would be such a risky move, and what other ways can the U.S. work with its allies to support Ukraine?
Well, there is going to be risk with the delivery of these aircraft in any way that we do it, because they're going to need to be flown from a NATO country into Ukraine. I don't think that this risk is serious enough to stop the sale or the transfer of aircraft, so I encourage that it be done. But ultimately, it's going to take Ukrainian pilots going to an airfield somewhere in NATO and flying these aircraft into Ukraine and basing them at an airbase there.
What do you see as the end game here, and what do you think it would take to compel Putin to pull out of Ukraine? Do you think that is even a possibility?
So Putin, over the last few days, has indicated or made some statements that kind of give us an indication of what his end game is. I think initially during this invasion, we weren't sure if he was going all the way to the west, all the way to the border of Poland. But now he seems to be talking about only wanting to work on the Donbass area and the eastern side, and some land in the south along the Black Sea coast. I mean, this is still a major invasion of Ukraine, and not something that Ukraine will probably tolerate willingly. But what it means is that Putin probably has no desire for the western part of Ukraine. The part west of the Dnieper River includes cities like Lviv. And so this is a significant clarification of his goals with regard to what he wants out of Ukraine. But he's still demanding demilitarization, which is not going to be something that Ukraine is going to want to agree to.
What do you think about these continued sanctions on Russia? Are these going to are they going to work at all, or do you think they're just hurting average Russians more?
I think they are hurting average Russians more, and I do think they're going to work. These are the most comprehensive sanctions the West has ever imposed on any country. And in this case, Putin has called them tantamount to a declaration of war on his country. And I think he is correct. These sanctions will bring down the regime, or at least will destroy his economy over time if he doesn't do anything to alleviate them. So they are serious, and they are maybe the most serious threat to Russia right now.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Kevin Ryan, thank you.